Hello, this is a bit of a follow-on video from the previous Lavaner Pro MAX video which I did. Basically someone got in touch with me and asked me if I could fit one for them into a vehicle. I think I mentioned it in the previous video. Basically it has a ACLS Challenger, I think that's what it is, fitted to the van about 2 years ago, and it's been nothing but trouble. I think it's the second heater that's been in, and it's had 3 or 4 fuel pumps, different heat sensors, etc. Not very happy with the product at all, so she just wants it removed from a van and a Lavaner Pro MAX installed. So we're going to have a look at the current installation first and make sure that's acceptable with regards to the fuel tank and the turret plate which has been fitted, hopefully. So we can reuse those rather than making more holes in the van for no reason. But we'll see how it goes. So yes, follow us in 2 minutes. Okay, this is the customer's current installation. She has an AGM battery in this box, which she's fitted herself along with a Sterling Power battery-to-battery charger, so when the van's running it charges her leisure battery. And this is the heater in question. Like I say, it's been fitted a few years and it's been working on and off not very well, so she just wants to change out for something a little bit different, hopefully a little bit more robust. Straight away I can see I'm not 100% sure if that's a turret plate or just a little mounting bracket that comes with the heaters. I hope it's a turret plate mounted through the floor properly. And the controller is over here, which she wants mounted elsewhere on the new version that we're fitting. So that's about that. There's no outlets anywhere, it's just straight out here. I think there's like a small shelf that runs across there, an extra part of the bed. Maybe the heat comes out the bottom, at the front. But yes, we'll go and look under the van now and see how that's looking. Hello, okay, the van is now up in the air, and let's have a look at what we have to work with. Where is the heater? Ah, here it is. Okay, first of all, the heater itself isn't on a turret plate like I presumed. It's actually just a hole in the floor with nothing actually separating the outside world from the inside world. I can see the plywood floor just here, and there's a gap in between, which can let moisture and exhaust gases in. Normally you'd have a turret plate through there protruding through the floor, or at least sealed off against the floor somewhere. The exhaust is corroded, but it has been in a few years. The Lavaner exhausts don't corrode, they are made of stainless, I think, or some other aluminium type stuff. The exhaust itself is blowing directly at the rear tyre, so we'll put a tailpipe on the new one and vent that elsewhere. Air intake is okay there, I suppose. The air intake pipe is a little bit crushed. That could be a source of problems. Where's the fuel pump? Where is the fuel pump? Here's the fuel pump. Okay, so we have a fuel pump, very corroded pipe clips. So some of them are. So yeah, that's there. I wouldn't have. Ah, okay. We have a fuel pump bracket, which is split. So that's probably why that's there. The fuel pipe is here. Where does it? Hopefully it goes into the sender. Yep. Okay. The side of the fuel tank has been drilled here, and the fuel pickup pipe put in there. Generally you would drop the tank, take the sender unit out, drill a hole in the sender unit in the top and put the pickup pipe in there, but that's how it's been chosen to be done on this one. I'll probably reuse that. I wouldn't normally, I would always, like I say, go in the top of the tank, but now that hole is there, I will use it. Don't want an extra hole in the fuel tank for no reason. It appears to be sealed with a Sikaflex or something, which is doing its job. If you don't want to disturb that, because that will cause leaks and, like I say, another hole to deal with in the tank. Ideally it would have been just done differently in the first place and put in the top of the sender unit. So yeah, old heater out, cut that larger if possible, to fit a proper turret plate in. New exhaust, all new stuff. Yeah, new pump, new wiring loom, everything to go in. So yeah, all this is coming out, so I shall do that right now. Hello, welcome back. You join us a few moments later. We have the original cabling and fuel pipe removed from the heater, just dangling down here. And I've ran some new fuel pipe and the new pump. So what we have is coming from here, which I really don't like, but if we're going to work with it, saves a hole in the tank, is the fuel pipe coming out of the tank here, along there. I've cable tied it on, made it all secure, passes across the top of the tank, over the heat shield itself. I've got a small piece of rubber here. It's not a connection, it's just to stop it chafing or rubbing on here. I will put a clip on this as well. That just stops the fuel pipe rubbing on there. Come around here, and then we have the fuel filter, which the previous installation didn't even have a fuel filter. I didn't even notice first. So that goes into there, fuel filter there, out of the fuel filter into the fuel pump. I've mounted the fuel pump here because the road spray will come here, so this is on the back, so it should be a relatively dry place. No road mess should get it. Also, it's on an angle, it's angled up over, so any air that gets trapped in the pump will get passed out of the pump up to the heater. Again, the previous installation, it was installed horizontally, in fact the bracket there. So that's how it was installed, just the pointing that way. It wasn't angled in any way, it was just pointing straight towards the heater. So again, not ideal, and it's also right in the way of the front tyre where the road spray will get it. It's still wet here anyway from earlier, where it's been driving. So that's probably why that's failed, perished, possibly why the previous owner had a few fuel pump replacements as well. So yeah, that's there. This one's now hidden up here out of the way. Yep, so then we come, sorry about spinning around, out of the fuel pump, which I haven't run the cables for yet, into some more P-clips, rubber P-clips, stainless and rubber. They stop the vibration of the fuel pump rattling through the fuel pipe. And again, just a small piece of rubber here, just to stop it rubbing on this if it was going to, which it shouldn't. Again, another P-clip. And this pipe will be going up to the Lavaner heater when we remove this one. One thing I have noticed is the exhaust on this one. Don't know if you can see that. I'm not really pulling on that very hard. It's not actually attached at all. And with that not being a turret plate or even sealed up, that could have been letting gases into the van at some point, possibly. So yeah. So we're going to remove this now. We're going to take the van back off the ramp, take the old heater out, probably have to make this hole larger to put a proper turret plate in, and then we shall continue with the installation. See you soon. Just actually inside the vehicle now. I was just about to remove this heater, and what I've noticed is it's not actually attached to the floor at all. There's only this screw actually holding it to the plywood floor. You probably can't see. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's not attached, and it looks like it's possibly been letting water in. I don't know if there's been a spillage in the van, or if it has been letting water in because it's not on a turret plate. But all around the actual mounting plate and under the heater, there is what appears to be like rusty water. So that's not ideal. So what I'll probably do is take this heater out and actually try and inspect the floor the best I can, and we'll have a look. Okay, you join me literally a few seconds later. I've just took the two screws out of this side and lifted the heater out. These weren't even holding it in. And as I previously mentioned, the exhaust just fell off straight away because it wasn't on tight. But what I thought was rust is actually the floor burned. So that's far from ideal. Yeah, use a turret plate, guys, and watch how you're installing them. This is like lino. It's been very, very hot. That That's went all brittle there. So yeah, I'll address that. I'll probably cut that out and mount it to the actual van floor rather than the lino. We don't want that. That's probably been smelling awful as well, I would have thought. So yeah, we'll sort that out as well. Not ideal. Hello and welcome back. You join me an hour or so later where I've got the Lavaner Pro MAX heater mounted into the van, and also it connected to the customer's leisure battery, which is in this box. It's a 130 amp hour AGM leisure battery, just being charged from the split charger there, from the DC to DC charger. So yeah, I've mounted the heater a little bit better than what it was. Cut the lino away and mounted it directly to the van floor, bolted down properly using the turret plate, which seals up from underneath the van. So that's done there. That's the nice wiring harness connector. So yeah, and I've ran the control panel just up here. Sorry for the glare, still need to take the little sticky thing off, the little cover. So I still need to set the time as well, which I'll do that in a moment. So yeah, first attempt. I have already primed it. The priming function is really quick on the Lavaner Pro. It goes like 20 times faster, the pump cycles, much quicker than the other heaters. It really does prime up within 15-20 seconds. It's really good. So anyway, power on. We just hold this in for a few seconds and flashes up on. We've currently got it, I think, in, is it temperature or no, it's just heat level mode for now, and it's on infinite minutes. So that is the heater powering up for the first time after priming it. It might not fire up first time after priming, sometimes it doesn't, but the fan is starting away there, full speed. There is some stuff happening here. I think the customer's going to continue the bed on, be a panel here, all of this will be boxed in. So for now this is temporary until the customer finishes whatever they're doing off here. There may be different plans, but so I'll leave the extra duct and T-piece in just in case they want to continue on with more heat outputs. So that's it inside. It's just firing up there now, probably hear it. And what I'll do is I'll just go underneath the van and show you what we've done under the van. 2 minutes. Okay, here we are underneath the van. There is a lot of noise outside as well. It's actually, there's a big refrigerator truck parked just outside the door, so you'll probably hear lots of noise from that also. But yeah, the heater is installed. That's the pump. Not ticking yet, it's literally just turning on, I think. So yeah, that's the pump I mentioned earlier. Out of the way behind the wheel, so no water, excess water gets at it. There's a fuel filter in line, which, like I said previously, there wasn't a fuel filter installed. Now there is. What else do we have coming along here? Like I said earlier, all clipped up, all tidy. And we have the exhaust, which has the heat-proof sleeve on it. It's like a fiberglass sleeve on there in silicon. That stops it from touching or melting anything else or getting crazy hot against any of the other pipework. So yeah, and again the silencer just down here, but now not pointing at the actual tyre itself, pointing down away from the tyre. And then we have the air intake here, again tucked up away from any water or anything, any debris. And then up here we have the heater itself, which is now mounted via a turret plate straight through the floor. You can see the bolts here. So that's bolted to the van floor now, not screwed to the lino like previously. And it's also obviously sealed up on the floor itself, so nothing can actually pass into the van itself. No exhaust gases, no water ingress can get in between the floor and the plywood lining inside the van. So yeah, that's all. Looks like it's ready to go and fire up. So I'll jump back in the van and have a look. I've just noticed when I got back in the van, what I'd actually put it on, because I was too busy talking, I believe I had anyway, was ventilation mode, which just runs the fan and blows cold air, so it would never have fired up. So we'll put it on heat, which makes far more sense, especially as it's very, very cold and wet here. So that's a heat, that's infinite minutes, which will basically just run until you turn it off, or you can set the timer with plus and minus. Power again, we see on flashing. Is that? Yeah, that's more like it. So earlier when it was in the L mode, level 1, 2, 3, etc., that was the fan blowing cold air. This is now in degrees, so don't know if you can see that, but we're moving up, so we'll have it full at 36 degrees. So yeah, that's the heater just turning on there now, I think, hopefully. Just press the power button on it. So yeah, I hope this this little Lavaner Max Pro works out a little bit better for the customer than the previous heater. I'm sure we'll find out. She might give us a report back in a few weeks or months on how it's doing. If the van is going to live in Scotland, right in the north of Scotland, where it gets bitterly cold, bitterly snowy. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good little thing. A good little test out for the Pro Max anyway, being up the north of Scotland. Yep, it's just fired up there. Just heard it fire up. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a little bit of feedback on this one, and we'll start installing even more. Yeah, thanks for watching, and might see you in another video. Cheers. Bonus footage, it's just fired up there, it's just turned on. Yep, so that's the exhaust. No crazy noises, although it probably does sound loud on the phone. Air intake hiding there. And the fuel pump clicking away there. And a nice full fuel filter full of fuel. Ideal. The only thing I don't like is this fitting here, which has been previously installed. But to be honest, it's been there for what, 2 years or something now, and it hasn't caused an issue. Probably not going to cause an issue now, hopefully. But if it was me, that would have been in the top of the tank in the sender unit itself. But hey ho, rather just leave that there than try and seal up the hole in the tank and let the customer drive 400 miles with a leaking fuel tank. So there we go. Thank you, goodbye.